Most states have one or two places that make you stop and ask questions. Ohio has a town where engineers built a traffic intersection in the middle of two rivers. A village that spent 36 years displaying a dead man nobody ever identified. A corporate headquarters shaped like a giant woven basket, now worth 4% of what it cost. A community the federal government quietly erased and whose ghost stories turned out to be less strange than the truth. The state has a reputation for being ordinary. Flatland, Rust Belt cities, nothing to see. That reputation is doing a lot of work for a state this odd. 7 towns below, all of them are real. Like this video, if Ohio caught you off guard. Subscribe because the list of states we have not covered yet is longer than you think. 7. Zanesville, Muskingum County. A local giving you directions in Zanesville might tell you to turn left in the middle of the bridge. That sounds wrong. It is not. Zanesville sits at the confluence of the Licking and Muskingum rivers, two waterways meeting at a single downtown point. In 1814, engineers needed to connect 3 communities across 2 rivers simultaneously. The solution was a Y-shaped bridge. 1 structure, 3 branches, a traffic intersection in the water. Your GPS will prompt you to turn while you're still on the bridge. It feels like a mistake. It works. The current version is the 5th Y bridge built on this exact spot. 5 structures. Same impossible design over 2 centuries. Ripley's noted it as the only bridge where you can cross and still be on the same side of the river. Amelia Earhart called it the most recognizable city in the country from the air. 6. The Longaberger Basket Building, Newark. Driving Ohio Route 16 east of Columbus, a 7-story woven basket appears on the horizon. It has handles. Each handle weighs 150 tons and has its own heating system, installed to prevent ice accumulation. The Longaberger Company built it in 1997 as a 180 times scale replica of their signature product. The architects recommended a conventional building with basket-themed elements. The founder overruled them. He wanted the actual basket. The building cost roughly $30 million. When the company collapsed, it sold in 2018 for $1.2 million. That is a 96% loss. The basket is still there. The company is gone. A few miles away in Dresden, independent basket shops still sell handmade versions. The craft outlasted the corporation. The building outlasted the logic behind it. 5. Sabina, Clinton County. Sabina calls itself the Eden of Ohio. Quiet, agricultural, roughly 2,500 people. For 36 years, the town's main tourist attraction was a preserved human body displayed in the window of a funeral home. In 1928, an unknown man was found dead in a ditch at the edge of town. Nobody claimed him. The embalming process produced unusual results. The body did not decompose. Rather than bury an unclaimed stranger, the town put him on display. People traveled from across the state to see Eugene, which is what Sabina named him. He was finally buried in 1964. The headstone reads, Eugene, found dead, 1928, buried 1964, never identified. 36 years between those dates. The Eden of Ohio. 4. Moonville, Vinton County. Vinton County is the most densely forested county in Ohio, and inside it, accessible only by a mile-long trail through dense woodland, sits an abandoned brick railroad tunnel from the 1850s. No roads lead to it. The town that built it, a coal community of roughly 100 people, disappeared when the mines closed. The last family left in 1947. By the 1960s, nothing remained except the tunnel and a small cemetery. In 1981, the railroad still operating the line installed electronic override signals because engineers kept making emergency stops. Their reported reason: figures with lanterns standing on the tracks inside the tunnel. The railroad's response was to instruct crews to obey only the electronic signal and disregard any lanterns they saw. The line closed in 1988, and the tunnel is now part of a public rail trail. Every October, a festival draws visitors to walk the forest and find out for themselves. 3. Gnadenhutten, Tuscarawas County. Most Ohioans pass Gnadenhutten without stopping. The main street is quiet and unremarkable. Follow it to the end and you reach a 37-foot stone monument, a burial mound, and a history that changes the whole picture. The name means Tents of Grace in German. It was founded in 1772 by Moravian missionaries, making it Ohio's oldest surviving European settlement. The residents, peaceful Christian Lenape and Mohican converts committed to pacifism, were massacred on March 8, 1782. A militia of 160 Pennsylvania men arrived, claimed friendship, disarmed the community, and killed 96 unarmed men, women, and children. Theodore Roosevelt later called it a stain that the passage of time cannot wash away. The Delaware Nation holds a day of remembrance here every March 8th. The marker erected at the site in 2003 is titled A Day of Shame. 2. Helltown, Summit County. Boston Township was Summit County's oldest village, founded in 1806. In 1974, federal legislation authorized the National Park Service to acquire land for the Cuyahoga Valley Recreation Area. The original plan covered 26 to 30 properties. The park superintendent acquired 378. By 1989, the government held over 17,000 acres. Homes were boarded up. A section of road was posted with closure signs that stopped partway. Not because of anything unusual, but because two townships could not agree on maintenance costs. The structures were demolished in 2016. What filled the vacuum was legend, satanic rituals, mutant animals, a haunted school bus. All of it was fabricated. The real story, a working community quietly erased by eminent domain 20 miles from Cleveland, was stranger than any of it. 1. Waynesville, Warren County. Waynesville has been designated the most haunted village in Ohio. Population around 2,800. Over 30 documented haunted locations. Roughly 1 per 93 residents. The density comes from layered history in a small footprint. Underground railroad stops, Quaker settlement from the early 1800s, colonial-era buildings over passages from the railroad era. The ghost stories were documented by author Chris Woodyard, who formally gave the town its title. Waynesville is also one of Ohio's top antiquing destinations. Antique shops line the same colonial-era blocks that appear in Woodyard's accounts. The two things coexist without conflict. Shops selling vintage furniture on streets that, depending on who you ask, still have occupants from 2 centuries back. Ohio has a town that spent 2 decades erasing its own shape. A bridge that routes traffic through the middle of 2 rivers. A basket building that lost 96% of its value and became the most photographed structure in the state anyway. The strange towns are not the outliers. They are the pattern. Every one of them has been sitting there the whole time in a state most people drive through without stopping. Like this video if Ohio recalibrated your expectations? Subscribe because there are more states and none of them are as quietly odd as this one.